So, I was having this little chinwag with my mate the other day, right? Married man, all of that kind of stuff. And it got me thinking, huh?
No, sorry, go on.
It got me thinking, I was thinking, like, what's the bigger commitment? Like, what's more important if you could phrase it that way, in terms of having a child or getting married? Like, what is the bigger commitment if you could look at it as such?
In a nutshell, the child, for me.
I think child that's more of a commitment. Marriage, you can walk away from it.
But you're not meant to.
You're not supposed to, but look at the world we live in now.
Fuck them kids, man. You just
There's more. What do you?
Let's look at it in terms of, because I think we can all ideally know how it is, right? Like, obviously, if you have a kid, it's life changing, cool. But go on.
It sounds like it's the child, but
that's what I was angling to.
Marriage might be the more of a commitment.
Because it's an actual legal contract.
Yeah,
actually, I can see what you're getting.
Once you have a child, once you get past okay, I'm not getting rid of it. No nigga here stay. You've got the child.
And the child might be a bit natural. Like, you feel like it's just a natural instinct, natural love, unconditional love. So you want to do things for your child. You want to, even if you're sad, you're happy to do things for your child.
Angry with
no matter
child,
what you're going through, you're going to be there. You're going to pull up for your child. You're married now.
Yeah.
It's not the same.
And the fact
you don't share the same blood.
The fact
like,
you can leave.
Yeah.
The fact you can walk away, especially like here
that's what I'm saying.
That is the bigger commitment, because it's good until it's not good. And people tell you that you're going to go through stuff, and sometimes you're going to go through. Don't look at me talking like I know, but if
do you know what I think?
You even fall out of love, and you wake up one day and you don't love the person. Then what? You can't love your child.
It's slightly deeper, right? Because we're talking about emotion, right? So love, liking someone, you're going beyond that by actually making a legal contract, and commitment to say we're doing this for the rest of our lives, right? Now, let's take that for a second. Like, I was easy to angle towards the whole kid thing because it's like it's life changing, isn't it? Like, you have a kid, but then it's more natural, right? For you to get married, you have to want to get married. You choose to go and say,
in this country,
we want to get married and spend the rest of our lives together. So naturally, that should be the bigger commitment, because then, if in the way things are done, kids then come from that situation, which then adds to that commitment. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying to you? And strengthens.
Yeah, because that's one reason why people are divorced, because of something like children.
It's scripted to go. Do you know what I'm saying? Naturally, and how we see it doesn't naturally always go like that. Do you know what I'm saying to you? But I feel like marriage is the bigger commitment, because I am the one choosing to. I don't have to. Do you know what I'm saying? To be with you for the rest of my life.
Even in a scenario where you don't have the choice, arranged marriages and stuff, it's still a big commitment, because now it's for your family. You're not doing it just for you.
Like, even like African, the traditional, like when cows are exchanged. Cows are exchanged. It's all mad.
It's a mad commitment. It's a mad commitment.
No one wants to return no cows.
I feel like the child. It's hard, man, because a child naturally just changes your life. Do you get what I'm saying? So in a way, you could say that goes even beyond commitment to an extent. Yeah, because but we've seen people that don't naturally connect with their kids. Yeah. Don't necessarily care.
But you guys are only talking about it as I think you only talk about small children. Like, there's loads of people, like, when you get to a certain age and you're a grown up, they're not so in their parents' lives. Mm-hmm. They become a bit more distant. Obviously, they still talk to their parents, but you might talk to if you don't live with your mum or your dad, you might talk to them once a week or twice a week on the phone, you know. And then sometimes old people, all they have is their life partner, their husband and their wife. You know, they're buried next to each other. Like, it's like 60 years strong, me and you. And like, have you ever heard? Obviously, it doesn't have. I don't know. Actually, let me not assume. Yeah. Let me not assume. But have you ever heard, like, I don't think it happens as much in like the black community, but I might be wrong. But you know, like, some people don't even look after their parents when they're old. So what I mean is, some people, like, this whole connection with their kids, like, after the kid is 18 or 19 or 20 or moves out, it's
some people it's more of a duty rather than, oh yeah, this is a commitment. It's like, I have to do this.
I think people prioritize. Some people are different, because it depends on the upbringing you've had and the family you've come from. Like, I come from a very family-orientated family, as in, all we're told is to put each other first before any outsider. So like, even in the past, I've had a partner who put me before his mum, and I was like, I had to tell him don't do that, because I wouldn't do this. I would never put you before any of my parents. And if we had children, I'd always want them to put us first. So don't ever put me first. And he couldn't believe it, like, and I was telling him that, because I was shocked, because I would never put anyone before my family. Like, I put my family first.
This goes now into a different angle of the conversation, because now as people in a relationship, like, you're about to build a whole life and family with this person.
Oh, let's say you're married, you are family.
You know what I'm saying? You are family. Like, there should be nobody that comes before this person.
So when you're
because
driving,
what created,
who sits in the back, your mum or your girl?
No.
I've got the answer, you know.
But that's now respect levels. That's going into something else. That's now respect levels, culture,
Your mum should sit in the back, blood.
But that, again, everybody's from different cultures.
Some mums are gonna itch up in the front.
If it's not a hatchback, sit in the back.
No, some mums will feel entitled to sit in the. Some mums really feel superior to their sons' wives. Like, they don't care.
But listen, if you're in a Maybach, you sit in the back. You don't sit next to the driver. So sit in the back, relax.
No, but it's my son's car. And my son is driving.
And it's my wife.
That one, the opinion.
I'm not gonna touch your fire.
It's meant to be the wife. Do you know what? Obviously, because come on, we kind of live in a toxic environment. But you know, like in the Bible, once you get married, isn't your wife supposed to come first?
I don't know, but I believe that.
I might be wrong.
This is where I was getting with what you said.
Above your mom and that.
In our culture, on a man's side,
Yeah.
your wife comes first.
And this is the thing, right? Even going off of what you're saying, right? Which I'm like that to an extent, right? But I know that I would like to think that if I get married, that person replaces
Everyone.
my family.
That is your family.
No. I'm saying my immediate family that I have come out of. Because I'm now creating a family.
Your wife and your kids come first.
This is your priority, yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Because if my mum still comes first before my wife,
So
I
that's
have
what,
major issues.
I think that's
You know
what
what I'm saying?
solidifies the whole
Mummy's
thing.
wearing
Marriage
whatever.
takes you to that side of it. Like, when you're in just a normal relationship, girlfriend, boyfriend, you obviously, some people will put their partner before their parents. But I feel like the whole point of marriage, the whole seriousness of it, does make people put their husband or wife before their parents. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
But I still would never neglect my parents.
Can I ask you a
But this
question?
is the thing though, sorry.
Yeah,
And that's
go
what I was trying to get at, like, right. Now you're about to create what you've just come out of.
Yeah.
And you can, not that you can't, but how do you get that same creation if you don't neglect them to create this? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, you want
do.
your
You
kids
do. You
to
find a balance.
have what you're saying. Do you get what I'm
You'll
saying?
find a balance. Like, my dad was a mummy's boy. Like, my dad just passed. My nan was literally at the funeral saying, God, why didn't you take all my other kids, not this one? Like, and all her other kids were there, you know. She didn't care. Like, my dad loved his mum. He went Uganda like 3 times a year just to be with his mum. Like, but he still maintained the same love for us and his family.
Balance, yeah.
Like, but I say that to say this, my mum has always had an issue. Like, there's always been something, do you know what I mean?
And to be fair, that's one of the things that I think is the same with my family as well. Like, that I think is quite prevalent with Africans, because we're brought up on a very deep sense of family. Like, your family, especially if you've grown up with that sense of family, like, it's very much your cousins, your immediate family, like your distant family is very deep. Do you get what I'm saying? And taking it back to the question, like, in order to create what we call family, like, you have to commit through marriage. Do you get what I'm saying? Because that's that contract that binds you. Do you get what I'm saying?
You have to commit through a joint mortgage, because I think a joint mortgage is the new age
Yeah,
marriage.
that keeps people together.
You know what I'm telling you? Because
More than even kids.
exactly.
I swear.
But does it? But this is the thing. Is it functional?
The reason why I say that, yeah, and the reason why I say that is because I wanted to just change it a little bit, because, okay, cool, not as many people get married these days, right? But a lot of people are in civil partnerships and stuff, so which is interesting when you said marriage creates that bond where you now say, okay, well, this is my priority. But a lot of people are in those priority type relationships without the title
Without
of
marriage.
husband and wife, and they simulate it themselves.
I generally think that those situations are born out of people actually not wanting to commit, because I feel like all of us in this new age have options, and we're open. Like, I look at the times where our parents grew up, right? And especially for the women, they didn't have as much options as they should have had, and it created a woman that a lot of men now look at and go, listen, my mum was, do you get what I'm saying? This, do you get what I'm saying? And they forget that that woman done what a mum's supposed to do and some. Do you get what I'm saying to you? Now, bringing it back to now, like, I don't feel like that's the world we're living in right now in terms of commitment, drive, like doing, because I feel like, especially, okay, I'll speak for the men that I've been around. Like, there's guys that are doing good things. Do you get what I'm saying? They're ready and happy to support their families. Do you get what I'm saying? But the commitment from women isn't there because nobody wants to commit to a guy and then 10 years down the line feel like, oh yeah, I've just been a dickhead. Like,
can you answer this? How about like you see situations where there's two people that are no longer together and they have a child. The mum's a single mum looking after the child. Most of the time, struggling to make ends meet, just about paying all the bills, feeding the child. Now, when they were together, men, when you're together, they will help you. They will do what they're meant to be doing. Now, when you break up, there's always an issue. Why should I pay for the bills? Why should I pay for the rent? Why can't I just feed the, like, they want to give you the minimal just to make sure their kids eating and stuff. But then they go on and get another girlfriend and they are spoiling their girlfriend and don't look after their kid. So I want to hear you lot's perspective on why you lot might not do this yourselves, but I'm sure you know of men that do this. Give their child and their baby mum the bare minimum, but will be doing the most for their current girlfriend.
it speaks to a certain type of man, innit?
And that happens a lot. I can tell you that happens. That's like about 85%.
Do you know what? I think it touches the nature of a man like this. You fucking threw me off, you know.
I'm so sorry.
Sorry.
Basically, the type of guys who will go spend money on the baby mum and
Like,
and
would
they
you
won't when they
treat
get
your
a job.
wife the same as, would you treat your baby mum and your children, would you give them the same package as you give your current partner?
No.
And
Why?
this is
With
the
your
thing.
child? Why are you not giving your child the same life?
Emotionally, you know how they say
Let me
like,
go first.
you know how they say like, sometimes when a woman's in love, she gets emotional and she can do erratic things. I feel men have that same way, but we just aren't allowed to express it in an erratic way. Like, our erratic form is like, we get in our feelings. So, you don't want to be with me. Like, I've got to be by myself. I've got to pick up my kids when you can handle this. This is what you want to do.
Yeah, but you don't know we
this is
can't
what we've decided
handle
that we
this.
want to do.
Okay, we can, but
we live in a country that says 50-50. So all it is it just allows the
who
man.
said 50-50?
The country that we live in.
Boris.
I'm telling you.
Boris Johnson actually said
United
50-50.
Kingdom,
Wait,
the
please,
country
please.
that we live in.
Okay.
This is 50-50.
Let me just.
Like, what I was saying is basically like, certain men get very emotional in a situation where they're just like, you know what, like, as long as I'm doing what I can for my kid,
Yeah.
you can look after yourself. We're not together.
And that's
And
I agree with that.
certain men they're well within their rights to do that, because even it also goes back to the what circumstances did the child come about? Did he even want it? That's what I'm talking about emotionally, because if you didn't want something,
And
you're
you
now
have- yeah.
forced to be responsible for something. Yeah, it's a child, but the reality of it is you did not want it. So not everybody is tapped in emotionally to be like, yes,
I hear what
I'm going to support, I'm going to do a duty. Not everybody is brought up like that.
I hear what Lucas is saying. Just let me answer your question. Yeah, let's say they were in a relationship and you said you broke up and you're not doing as much. I am for you do what you need to do for your child. I don't know if I'll say do the bare minimum for your child, but do what you need to do for your child. Where complications arise, I don't have children. I've never been in a situation. I'm just thinking, yeah? It's a situation where like, well, you're most likely in separate households. So it's you and your child and my money. Hear me out. Hear me out. When I say and my money, it's like, I know I need to be there for my child and and I probably still care about you, but the likelihood is you're going to move on too. The likelihood is there's going to be another man in the picture eventually. The likelihood is at some point that man's going to probably start providing for you. But until it gets to that point, I'm providing for you and I'm kind of like icing out your nest for the next man to come and settle in there. I know it sounds tapped how I'm saying it, but what I'm expressing is why am I going to put my peas in there when I can make sure the kid's patterned? Me patterning the kid is patterning you, because if our kid is covered from my end, you have a bit more for yourself, most likely, and that might contribute to bills and whatever, but I need to focus on me moving on. And yeah, my new bird is going to get spoilt because I need to pattern my new situation, potentially. Do you know what I'm saying? So I totally understand why, and from the ex's perspective, it's like, oh, look at him free as a bird doing his thing. Because for the most time, the burden of raising the child, I say burden, but my point is, as a parent, okay, people always ask me, would I date as a girl with a child? I'm like, yeah, in theory, but in practice, it don't work because she needs to plan. She can't just, because if I want to just link a girl, what are you doing? Then she can just dump her child
childcare.
anyhow. If you're just dumping your child anyhow, you're a red flag.
Yeah.
So her child is a priority. So, but as a single man who has a child, sometimes she don't even know that nigga had a child because he's only busy on the weekend, but he's free Monday. Do you know what I mean? He's like Black China. Do you know what I mean? So I get why the mum might be like, what's he doing over there? But I don't think it's fair. Sorry, give me 2 more minutes. That's my answer to the question, yeah? Just to take it back on what I said about, you said, we live in a modern society and 50. The joint mortgage thing is, people don't get married as much. When people say like, I want to say something, you said, I think commitment is overrated. And I never said that before, but I realized commitment is overrated. The reason why I say commitment is overrated is because we are always dripped this, and when I say commitment is overrated, I don't mean people should just be single and shagging. I'm saying if you're in a long-term relationship, it should not be till death to do us part. I think that's my only problem with wedding vows.
Why?
Sickness and health, whatever, better or worse, till death do us part. I'm going to answer. I have a problem with that because once upon a time, life expectancy was only 40 years old. They used to get married and die in 40 years. Now we live 2 lifetimes in one. You live till 80 years old and you get way more information than you ever were meant to get to. People used to travel on donkeys and by foot. Now people have mobile phones, we communicate daily, So as an individual, you grow so much and change so much in a short space of time. So to expect
You are not a romantic.
Hear me out.
You're cynical.
Hear me out.
You're
because
cynical.
you're not
I get where you're
I see you in some polygamous.
Chill. Hear me out, please. Let me finish.
I'm seeing you in a polygamous situation in the future.
No, not necessarily. Do you know what is the problem? Is once you break up with someone, it's a failed relationship. It fucked up. It's a waste of time.
That was that part of your life.
No,
I don't see it like that.
Cool, but
he's
no, but
predicting
they
it
tell you
beforehand.
no.
I
You're
can't
not
explain
listening.
it.
No, you're not.
No, do you know what you're?
I'm not. No. Sorry. I know you haven't spoken. You've been so patient. But then just let me finish, please, darling, because I'll get derailed. I know you. I'm not being cynical. What I'm saying is.
You are.
What I'm saying is, people always look at it, it fucked up. But no, we outgrew each other. So I don't think it should be till death do you part because then I'll tell you that until you die, you can't leave this person. But what if you're not happy in the situation?
No, what's happened? Who are you?
Now go with what you was gonna say.
No, like you're
Go on.
predicting it. You're predicting it.
Go
I
on.
understand. You're a realist. I can see that, right? What you're saying, it's making sense. I'm not saying it's not making sense.
Yeah.
I can comprehend and understand everything you're saying.
Yeah.
But you have no love. Isn't logic.
What did Amy Winehouse say? Love is losing game.
No, but love is magical.
Okay, go ahead.
Love is feelings. Love is romance.
Magic don't pay bills.
No, you're a cynic.
Unless you're David Blaine.
You're just a cynic.
Do you think it will stay magical for 50 years though?
Talk to her.
Be money. Some people
Listen,
do.
I've heard some stories.
Some people have.
I promise you.
So
Have you ever been in love?
It's not, but this is the thing, right? I think.
Have you?
have you been trying to make it smaller? Like,
And this is the thing, right?
Have you ever been in love? I just want to know.
Yes.
And this is what you're saying.
and did that feeling last like?
I haven't been in love. Go on.
I've been in love, and I think I could have loved until the day I died. I don't
We know
believe
that, Lonnie.
That's not the point. You could be in love with someone and your relationship is not working. So you can love someone and the relationship doesn't work. Some people are in love.
You're a cynic. You're a cynic.
Some people get marriages and it's one-sided.
You're
Thank you.
cynical.
Another thing is, you know what you said.
cynical.
Cool. Let's banter aside. You know how you said like times are changing, women empowerment and equality is a thing, right? A lot of people who were in these relationships were there not out of choice.
Don't get it twisted. Like, I really if I ever
you
marry
know what I'm
somebody,
saying?
I really want to stay.
But
like
you
the person I choose to marry,
Yeah.
like I want to be in love with you till the day I die. Like I love the whole
Ideally.
idea of that. Like I really do. I come from that. Like I come from my parents loved each other. My dad died loving my mum. Like my mum is a broken person,
beautiful.
knowing that he's gone now. Do you get me? And I want to be in that. But I do also feel like our generation, I don't know if our generation even supports that anymore, because it's like everyone's talking open marriages, everyone like all of a sudden swinging, and this is all, everyone is just
But this is the
glamorizing
thing, right?
this whole madness, and it's
I
like,
promise you, these things aren't new, right? You go back to the Roman times, there was crazy sexual things that were happening that were just they'll blow your mind, right? My thing is this, in every time that you live in, right, you're gonna have what people do in that time, or what is the norm for them at that time, right? I think for our generation, and for any generation, it's down to the nature of a person and how you see the word commitment. Do you get what I'm saying to you? And that also comes from upbringing. Do you get what I'm saying to you? And which is why I'm gonna say this to say that marriage is the biggest commitment, because you as a person have to know yourself to meet another person that knows themselves, for you to both come together, know each other, and then produce children. But you don't know.
But we don't do that now. We
Hold
produce
on, hear me
children
out.
first,
I'm
a lot
going
of
somewhere
us.
with it, right? Now, a lot of the time, right, back then, that process happened, whether it was by force or not, with whatever constraints they had back then. It happened because whether the women wanted to leave or not, they felt like they just had to stay for the kids or whatever. For whatever reason, it created women that just decided that they was going to make their children
Women and men.
And men
But a lot
too.
of our parents, for example, didn't have a choice.
And that's what I'm explaining right now. Like
what
at
you're
that
saying
time,
is that back then there was less options.
and this is what I'm
There's
explaining.
more options.
You're
Right.
even all the same, like.
Yeah.
For example, like in Africa, like you're all the same. Like
Yeah.
you come here now, you're this, you're that. It's a
It's
lot.
normalization.
But the only thing that I take from that generation, yes, they didn't have options, all these different things. In life, we're all gonna have these different constraints that we're gonna be up against, right? My thing is, that level of commitment was taught to them regardless of what they were in. Do you understand what I'm saying to you?
There was structure.
It's not just, we hear a lot of the negativity of marriages, right? I promise you, the beautiful marriages that exist are not the ones that they're gonna put out in your socials
Yeah.
for people to hear. And like,
That
especially
don't go
within,
viral.
if you wanna go deeper within,
Negativity
like,
goes viral.
especially if you wanna go deeper within our people as black people and that narrative, it's not pushed.
We really don't focus
right?
on that.
Secondly, now I feel like with our options, I feel like commitment to each other is very frivolous. Like, commitment to yourself now is frivolous.
What does that mean?
Like how? Like it's not worth fuck all. Like it ain't worth the like it's not like you put it this way now. This is gonna sound really fucked, yeah. Like you can decide. You can wake up today and decide that you can be whatever you want to be, and that is okay. Right? So a man can wake up today, he wants to be a woman, that's okay in today's society. Whatever your opinion is, cool, right? My thing is, if you don't know yourself as a person, right, you are not committed to yourself, because that takes commitment, knowing yourself, right? Before you can now take somebody else, right, to bring into your realm and say, okay, we need to now know each other. We're now producing children, we're not knowing each other, that now go on to be just like us, and then which is where you now have today. Right? Where I was going with it is that level of commitment has to be like discipline. So it doesn't matter about your emotions. It doesn't matter about how you're feeling tomorrow or the next day. You've made a choice and you are disciplined in that choice.
That's what I was saying. Like our parents, they're from the same cultures, they're from the same traditions. It's easier for them. Say like me and you get together now, yeah, get married. I'm from like, obviously I'm British born or whatever, but I have like my Ugandan heritage and they've got their own tradition. Then you've got yours. Then I'm just about understanding mine right now. You're probably just about understanding yours. And now we've got to try and make this thing with our parents both. Like it's just, I feel like, that's why I have a lot of respect for like Nigerians and Ghanaians, because they still marry each other, yeah? Whereas I'm from Uganda, I haven't even been to a wedding for like 10 years. And we're not getting married anyway, but even if when we are, we're not marrying our own people anymore. So it's just like, and the marriages don't last.
Nigerians be fucking everyone else and marrying them too, you know. Did you know how many Nigerian
They
Russians there
still
are?
marry their own a lot. I feel like they marry their own a lot.
I equate it to the way, like you say, you know, men can just shag, and if a man just shag, like, for a guy to just be committed in a relationship, it takes discipline, right? You have to be disciplined to say, okay, cool. I don't want, regardless, you're gonna see beautiful women every day. Like this, let's not be stupid.
But I just wanna go home to my wife.
No matter what, this is my discipline. This is my reality. This is
Men
the
and
truth.
women, yeah?
Do you get what I'm saying? Men and women, yeah. But I'm gonna do something.
Yeah, of
Do
course.
you know what I'm saying?
I'm just
Like,
throwing out there for the.
I'm taking it again back to the whole marriage thing. Like once you take, again, Nigerian, yeah. So it'd be even better to explain it. Once you take a woman from her house and you bring her into yours, yeah, it is a commitment for a lifetime, because I didn't need to take her
You can't
from
take
there.
her back, yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying to you? It's discipline, because you know what? We might not like each other in the next 5 years. We might have a 2-year phase where we hate each other's guts. But if it's a lifelong thing,
We're gonna
you go
figure it
through
out.
it.
Look, yeah, I agree with everything you're saying. That's why I didn't want to get cut off before, yeah. Because I always talk about this side, and it sounds like I'm being an extremist. But what I'm saying is that the reason I say we glamorize, and I'm not saying anyone should get married and hope to divorce. What I'm saying is that it should be okay in this day and age for things not to last forever, and
But
still
it
find
is, though.
ways for it to work. I don't want to.
Wait for, you see like now, yeah, Lonnie,
I think we're living that narrative now, though.
say you tell your girls now, my man just cheated on me. What are all your girls gonna tell you to do?
Leave.
Leave. We are encouraged to leave quick. Back in the day, there was no leaving quick.
Your man can beat you and they'll
Do you
send
know
you
what I
back to
mean?
the
Your
house.
own parents will tell you to go back home with your black eye. So it's like,
But
We
that
are encouraged to
information
not
is
stand for
based-
shit anymore. We're encouraged
that
to like.
information is based on the times they lived in.
Okay, but what I'm
No, but
saying,
even-
what I'm trying to
but
say,
that's
We're told not to forgive. We're told not to be
You
cheated
got
on,
to
not
remember,
to have it. Like,
our parents grew up in times where
but really and truly,
they had multiple
is your husband
wives.
really not going to tune you after
and
50
that
years
was
together?
okay. Like they cheated and it was okay. They didn't even have to be in the households and it was okay during those times. Like we just said, those women didn't have options. They're going to give you advice like that because they
Like
lived
you
through
bring
those
someone
experiences.
for advice, they'll tell you,
My point
just
is,
hang in.
we lived
Hang
here.
in.
We see those experiences and have our own.
okay, but which
I
side
even
you,
heard that advice one time
but
from
so
my
which
mum.
side
Like,
do you
I
agree
complained
with?
about
Which-
a partner.
Which side do you agree
Mum
with?
was like, oh no, just hang in, you know, things will get. I was thinking, what?
Honestly, because boy.
Do you agree with the modern sense that you should be able to do as you please and leave as you see fit, or do you believe
I'm
that
quite,
in
don't get it
the
twisted, I'm saying
commitment
all
thing?
these things. I'm quite moral, like,
Yeah.
I'm quite moral and I will try. I'm the type to try.
Alright,
Like,
cool.
I will actually try, maybe just because of my parents and seeing my parents try. So that will be something
You know,
to
I
make me
think
try.
that's why
I wouldn't walk away
Can
that
I just
quick.
say one? Because no, wait, 2 seconds. No, chill. No, Lani, you got to chill for 2 seconds. Yeah. Alright, let me ask you a question on the side.
Can we talk about STDs? When you stay and try, that's when someone brings you home chlamydia, gonorrhea.
You was on Chucky's podcast 2 seconds ago, yeah, and obviously you said something that you spoke on your. No,
Yeah, let know.
No, Lani, I want to ask you a side question real quick.
I'm gonna go home because
Just
you
a
know what?
just a side question, yeah. Just a side question. You know you spoke about your dad and that, yeah, but you said he lived in a different house, innit? So can we talk about that, but not necessarily in your
fuck you
situation?
then.
No, because I don't want to talk about STIs. We've got a few minutes left.
No,
I've hardly spoken this whole.
No, let us
Okay, go on, talk about
So I
STIs,
wanted
Lani.
to say one thing. The last time you were speaking and I tried to say something, you said, wait, let me see. You don't like you. Just do a podcast on your own then. Fucking hell. Gee, I'm done. I just wanted to say, when you forgive people, they bring home STDs. I have an auntie who has HIV. I want to talk about serious shit because of her husband. But you won't let me fucking speak because you like the sound of your
That's
own
not a
voice.
question, though.
Your opinion is not more interesting than mine.
You're right.
Go on, open that floor. Go on.
That's all I wanted to say.
We don't have time.
How did that happen?
Yeah, that's.
My auntie had got HIV from my uncle because she forgave. So sometimes, you know, I'm just saying yes, marriage is a great commitment. It's good to look good because you got a ring on your finger. But deep inside in your heart, you're broken because people are giving you diseases and having babies on
So
you.
you agree with me in what I said? He was calling
No,
me a cynical,
but you have to find the right partner that won't do that
No
to
one
you.
knows the answers to life. You don't know that the
I
person.
never said that.
No, but do you know why you're telling me you have to find the right? You can find who you think is the right partner today. Go and marry.
You're cynical.
Listen to
In
me.
5 years, you could even change
Yeah.
You
it.
are cynical.
The person you-
Then you are the problem.
What
to
she's
society.
essentially saying is, if you have the mentality of, oh, well, potentially we could just outgrow each other, then inevitably it's going to happen.
Her auntie outgrew
what
the
she
husband because of what he did, and then they forced her to stay in a situation.
No. That's
Listen, because so many different points. I'm so sorry. Oh my God.
Well, I'm even confused.
What do you think about like? Okay,
I think marriage is
I
the
was
biggest
just
commitment.
adding-
That's what I think.
I think
What do you
marriage
think?
too.
this
Rani?
topic should have been
I
longer,
think
man.
average too.
What do you think, B Money?
About
Marriage or kid or having a
Marriage is
child?
more of a commitment. It'll take more out of you.
I think a joint mortgage is the, and I really wanted to talk about that, but no one wanted to let me land. I'm so sorry, but I think just getting a joint mortgage with someone that you're not even married to, that's an even bigger commitment than the child.
What do you mean?
But why would you do that?
Because that's what everyone does these days.
No. Why? Who does
B
that?
Money is not leaving that
You spoke-
mortgage.
you spoke-
Do you know why, yeah?
You're not leaving that mortgage.
Okay, traditionally,
If you
like
broke up with
said,
your wife,
yeah,
are you?
No.
You're not leaving that mortgage. If you and your wife was going through bits, you're not.
Well, you have to split it, right? But the point is, okay, a mortgage lasts 25 years. A lot of marriages don't last 25 years. Well, let's say a marriage lasted 25.
So you let the kids go homeless.
No,
just
you
so
don't
you
hear
can
what I'm
get your
saying.
half.
What I'm saying is, it's to
B
meet-
Money. I think we can say you don't plan on
Why
getting married.
don't let me to meet someone and partner up with them and say we're gonna buy a house together.
That's more for
And
a commitment.
It's a commitment.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? And that's the same thing as marriage. Marriage is a commitment. We're gonna live together, buy a house together, raise these kids together until they're of age, and they'll take care of us. So what I'm saying is that in the modern society, sometimes when I see a couple say, "Oh, we just bought a house together," I'm looking at them like,
You're respecting it, innit?
swear.
Yeah.
All right, because that means you lot are in it for the long term. And you know, money is the one thing that can fuck people up all the time.
But you can sell the house.
Of course, but a lot of people, they're not doing it thinking, oh, we're going to sell the house. They're thinking, we're going to be together and ride out.
Exactly what you just said.
Yeah,
there
that's what I was
with
just
buying a house.
Yeah.
About a lot of people are not thinking about that because
Yeah.
that's exactly how people think with marriage.
Yeah, you don't go into it thinking we're
you
gonna
don't-
break up.
and that's where
Right.
do you get what I'm saying? Like, a lot
I
of
wouldn't
people-
go into it thinking
especially if marriage is a commitment thing for you or you've
I
been
ain't going
raised.
Unless I was trying to finesse.
I ain't going into it.
Unless you're trying to finesse, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
you know, like when women marry them old
Honestly,
women,
you're
they
not
know what
meant
they're
to
doing.
think that,
Yeah.
I genuinely do think that two people knowing who they are, coming together to get married it's a choice. It's you actually choosing to
Of
do
course,
this.
in this country.
That is a massive commitment.
All the best
You
everyone
can
out
shag
there wants
and
to get
have
married,
kid,
man.
you can shag and have a kid, and it's just thrusted upon you. Do you get what I'm saying to you? And you just have to deal with it, and
Yeah.
everybody has to deal with it.
Some people
So,
meet their kids like, yeah.
I would say that marriage is a bigger commitment, isn't it?